one of the guys who is the exact opposite of cancel culture, and frankly, one of my heroes in the First Amendment space, and it's no surprise that I'm wearing this right now, is Larry Flynt. Larry Flynt was the publisher of Hustler and won an important Supreme Court victory in a case that was made into a movie when he was sued. I believe it was by Jerry Falwell. I can't remember exactly who was the religious leader who sued him. So if I'm wrong about that, apologies. But basically the premise is, what is the standard for public figure speech going to be? And how are we going to read the First Amendment? Are we going to read it expansively, or are we going to read it in a narrow fashion? In other words, how is defamation law going to be applied? How is slander, which is spoken, and how is defamation going to be applied as well? This was from an ad in the Hustler magazine, which was making fun of the supposed first time. Back in the day, there was a liquor that talked about the first time you had it, and it was supposed to sound like the first time you had sex. It was a pretty funny concept for an ad, risque back in the day. And so Larry Flynt built out the idea that the first time that I believe it was Falwell was having sex was, in fact, I need to look it up to make sure that I get the guy right. And Larry Flynt died at the age of 78. Again, Hustler magazine's founder. And if you are a First Amendment absolutist like I am, then it's important the wins that he got over the years are incredibly important. And I'm just making sure right now who exactly the battle was fought with to ensure that I get this right. But the larger context is this is one of the all-time leaders in the First Amendment trial. And so People versus Larry Flynt, I would encourage you to read, and it was a court battle with Jerry Falwell. Here's the deal. The guy who represents everything the exact opposite of cancel culture is Larry Flynt. And this is what I don't think a lot of people have recognized. Larry Flynt used to be a liberal hero. Now, ironically, the world has twisted around to such a degree that the biggest defenders of First Amendment speech are right-wing people, not left-wing. The left wing is trying to cancel speech. New York Times had an editorial today. I read it and I was like, my God, this is unbelievable, arguing that Fox News should be shut down. We have entered into a world where we've come full circle. I don't want to sound like I'm on True Detective, but time is a flat circle in many ways. And we have moved in the space of one generation, think about this, from a universe where somebody like Bill Maher was being canceled for saying that terrorists weren't cowards, to now the cancel culture is coming for people for their connection, for not being in any way anti-patriotism enough. It's really, really fascinating to see how we have ended up where we have. And the left wing in this country has somehow ended up with more in common with China than they have with liberal conceits of First Amendment protections. Because usually, remember, the people who want to fight for the First Amendment the hardest are minority groups, because the majority is what ends up shutting them down. It's just, I mean, it's utterly fascinating to think about where the law has gone since I started law school to where we are right now, marinating on a daily basis in constant cancel culture.